Is going to call 2021 CR 7243, State of Texas versus Jessica Lee Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Groomer for the state of Texas.
For the
Dan
defense?
Rodriguez on behalf of Jessica Johnson.
And are you Miss Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. The court will note for the record that the defendant is in the courtroom. Any objections with us proceeding by video, state?
None from the state.
Defense?
No.
Are you the same Jessica Lee Johnson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 7243 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on September 8, 2021 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 2, on or about the 6th day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Jessica Lee Johnson, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
We'd waive the remaining conditions, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnson, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We have an agreed recommendation that we'd ask the court to follow. On this particular case, Judge, we'd ask that you deny the motion to adjudicate against Ms. Johnson and to alter and amend her conditions to include a couple of new conditions, one of them being the MRT or the Moral Recognition Therapy course. In addition, we'd ask that you add weekly UAs for 90 days with a disclaimer that if Ms. Johnson misses or tests positive on any of those tests, that we of weekly UAs, Judge, and just with a disclaimer that we would file an MTR if she misses or tests positive on any of those tests. In addition, there's a parenting course that we'd like you to order her to start that up within 2 weeks. And finally, Judge, we just would like you to admonish Ms. Johnson. She's picked up 2 MTRs in the very beginning of her deferred. She's just started out. She's had some personal issues in her life. However, we just wanted you to make sure that she's admonished of the seriousness of the deferred that she's on, and that she needs to be doing her conditions, going to her tests, and also complying with CPS, which was an order that you had given her that I think she had some trouble with initially, and just to stress the importance of that condition.
All right, is that the agreement, Mr. Rodriguez?
Your Honor, everything sounds correct. The only thing I recall is our discussion was your analysis weekly for the first 60 days. Other than that, everything sounds correct.
I'm okay with Judge. I'm okay with that. I thought 90, but 60, nonetheless, just her going to them.
Your decision, Judge.
All right. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
You're doing a UA today. What are the results going to be?
Good. I'm clean.
I'm sorry, what?
They're good. I'll be clean.
All right, because here's the thing. Now's the time to be honest with me, because I am going to make you do a UA today. And if you don't do that UA today, I'm going to have a motion to revoke file, and we'll be having a discussion while you're at the Bexar County Jail. Okay. So what are the results going to be?
They'll be good.
What does that mean, they'll be good?
They'll be clean.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you
Yes,
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. When's the last time you used?
In the very beginning, when I first was on probation.
Why are you not going to your UAs?
I actually did go, and they were just not, they said it wasn't incomplete, like it wasn't a full enough sample for them to use.
Why are you not giving full samples?
I just didn't have to pee when I went that time. And it was when I first was on probation. It was my first time. I was not aware at that time that I could go back in and redo it.
Okay, here's the thing. You're not here for when you were first placed on probation. You're here for violations that have happened recently. That's what we're here. We're not talking about when you were first placed on probation. We're talking right now. So why have you not been going to your UAs?
I haven't been sent, ma'am, since I was released. Like the ones that they're talking about are from when I got out the last time.
All right, you're going to do a UA today.
Right.
And do you know if you violate your probation, do you know how much time you're looking at potentially in prison?
Up to 20.
And I had previously ordered parenting classes, and I'm assuming your children are not with you?
No, ma'am. I was told to wait here by the last probation officer. She didn't clear me to go back yet. I know you originally did when we were in court.
No, my question is, where are your children?
They're still with my mother at the same address.
Okay, so basically what seems to be happening with you, and I've done child protective services cases a lot, you're half-stepping. You're not doing what you need to do because your mother is your backup plan, and your mother is taking care of your children and you are not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's not an okay to it. That's what's happening. You haven't done your parenting classes. Have you started your parenting classes?
No, ma'am.
And you've been on probation since
September.
Since September, and you haven't started your parenting classes. And you need to do your parenting classes in order to get custody of your children back. So either you don't care about your children, or either you think that your mother is going to be taking care of your children and you're just going to step in after they terminate your parental rights. Are you paying child support?
No, ma'am.
So your mom is taking care of your children that she didn't birth into this world, and you're not paying child support. Are you working?
I'm sorry, what was the last part of it?
Are you working?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing the part-time Uber, and I've been taking care of my father here lately. I'm trying to get him to put on some weight so that I can get him in for his surgery. But I do work, and I do send them groceries from here.
Your children need more than groceries.
Right.
Did you eat today?
Yes, ma'am.
See, here's the thing that people don't realize. Children need to eat. You can't just have children and put them on, at Travis Park and tell them go forth and raise themselves. Every bit that they have has to come from their parents, their clothing, their food. Whenever you sit down to eat, you need to be wondering, what is my child eating?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to get on board with all of this. If you don't, you could end up going to prison. On the CPS side, I think you've already calculated and just determined, well, even if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, they're with my mom, they'll terminate my rights. The children will end up with my mom. The taxpayers will end up paying a portion to her because she's taking care of your children and you're free on the hook. And maybe you can come in and be the sunny delight mom, where you just come in and be happy with them and then give them back to your mom. But we're not going to have that here. You're going to do the MRT. I'll deny the motion. And MRT is basically a course which something you should have learned in primary school. Basically, that's doing what's right and following through on what you said you were going to do. I'm going to do the UA hotline, and the UA hotline is going to be until further notice. Don't miss calling that line. Sometimes you're going to call it. They're going to say, come in and do a UA. Sometimes you call it. They may not say, do a UA. You're going to do parenting classes, and you are enrolling within 7 days in that parenting class. There's going to be CPS compliance. And I'm going to want field visits. Three times per month, random. Proof of employment within 7 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Are you receiving any money for taking care of your father?
No, ma'am.
So the government is not paying for that at all?
No. He's mentioned to me before, like, about it, but I've never actually, like, did the paperwork for it or anything like that.
Don't do the paperwork because the court doesn't allow that. Do you understand?
Right. Yes, ma'am. I'm
going to do a UA today.
Okay.
By 1:30 p.m. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to actually work your probation?
No, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else that Ms. Johnson needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Get the UA done today. Ms. Reyes, if that UA is not done today, file a motion to revoke.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Right.
just so I'm clear, is that UA going to be done here or at the normal place where they send people for UA?
Probation will instruct you. Usually when we're in person, I'm able to get someone to come down and do it today. But probation will instruct you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am.
Court is calling 2021 CR 7243, State of Texas versus Jessica Lee Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hey, for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
John Robertson from Ms. Johnson.
All right. And are you Jessica Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jessica Lee Johnson, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 7243 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on September 8, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Ma'am.
All right, state.
First motion, Judge. Violated condition number 2, on or about the 6th day of February. I'm sorry. Violated condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jessica Lee Johnson, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April, May, November, December 2022, and January 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? True.
And then, Judge, this is on the second state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter. Violated condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jessica Lee Johnson, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March, April, May, June, July, and August 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, we waived and abandoned the other violations alleged in the motions.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of conditions 4 and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 4 and 4?
Yes.
Court will find violations 4 and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, Your Honor.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate the defendant guilty, and sentence the defendant to 10 years to do.
All right. Defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, I'm requesting the court consider something other than revocation, or if revocation is going to be imposed, that a number less than 10 would be more appropriate. Ms. Johnson would like to address the court and kind of explain her situation. She advised me that her situation recently has actually improved as far as the stability of her personal life. She's had a lot on her plate the last year and a half or so. Has admittedly not performed well on probation, but she would like to address the court and explain it.
All right. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jessica Johnson.
All right. What would you like to say?
Just now that I'm in a better, stable environment, and my dad's health is a little better under control. And I was going to try to ask for a final chance with probation being in the new county that we've relocated to. Me going away will leave my 18-year-old take care of my dad by himself.
All right. What have you been doing while you've been on probation? Because you have not been reporting.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we did move out to Pipe Creek, Texas. And and my dad's health was up and down in the middle of us relocating. So we actually ended up leaving behind, half of our belongings at the old house and not even going back for it because my dad having to have surgery and being in and out the hospital.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever provide the location of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So because this is your third motion to revoke.
Yes, ma'am.
And the first one, it's
they're still in the same place with my mom that they've been the whole time because of my dad's health being up and down and us relocating. I didn't want to move my mom and them, you know, to one county when we're moving in the middle of
probation. You were moving?
No, ma'am.
All right, because the first motion to revoke,
right,
it was you were to provide proof of residency in Austin,
right,
and follow through on your CPS requirements. Did you complete CPS?
When I contacted them when I got out, they said that the case was closed and there was nothing else for me to complete or do with them. All right.
Did you do felony drug court in Austin?
No, ma'am. I actually never ended up leaving. They had my probation officer that I had went on, I don't know if it was a vacation or what. She ended up not coming back, and I had got like a new probation officer. So I never even got to actually leave to Austin. They revoked it that time.
All right. Did you complete parenting classes?
No, ma'am. I didn't. With my dad and us moving, I didn't get to start anything. I did sign up while I was in the county waiting.
You've been on probation since September 2021.
Right.
What have you completed?
I haven't got to complete anything else.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Now that I'm in more of a stable environment and situated and my dad a little bit more under control, I would be able to start and do everything that I was supposed to originally do. All
right. The court is finding violations 4, 4, and true. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty. Would parties like to speak to time? I know, State, you said you're asking for 10 years.
Your Honor, I just think a more moderate sentence would be appropriate for her. She's got a lot on her plate. She's got responsibilities she needs to get back to. I would ask the court to consider a sentence closer to 2 than 10, given the situation.
All right. Court will find you guilty, grant the motion, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
And counsel, if she would like the therapeutic community, I can recommend that. It doesn't increase the length of time that you're in custody. Would you like that or no?
Yes.
All right. You'll still have to request it yourself. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.